Legal Seafoods was once the silver lining of a dying family business. It was the hope of an aging father. But today, it's a multi-million-dollar American food service chain. This is the story of Legal Seafoods, the story of a family's journey where tenacity conquered all. When business owners create a business, they do so with a reason. For some, they want to dominate. For others, they want free food. But for the founders of Legal Seafoods, it was for survival. It all started in 1904, when Harry Berkowitz founded a grocery shop in the Inman Square neighborhood of Cambridge. You see, Berkowitz didn't attend any business school, but he had practical business experience. Hence, he knew he had to find something unique his business would become associated with or drowned in a sea of competition. He called this grocery store Legal Cash Market, and he offered trading stamps to his loyal customers. Beat that, competitors. Harry was a foxy businessman, and this helped him navigate through the volatile U.S. economic climate in the early 1900s. His business survived the economic panic of 1907, the economic stress of the First World War, the Wall Street crash of 1929, and the Great Depression. Harry's business was utterly tenacious. However, 40 years after his store's creation, there was a shift. The United States climate for grocery stores changed. In the late 1940s, chain grocery stores became vogue. Brands like Kroger, Stop & Shop, and Albertsons conquered the American grocery market, and by extension, small retail grocery businesses began to drown in the might of corporate America. This new trend was a problem for Harry Berkowitz. His retail grocery business, Legal Cash Market, has fed his household for the past 40 years. It was his only hope, his backbone, and it seemed he would lose it. Then hope came. Harry's son, George Berkowitz, had other ideas. In 1950, he opened a fresh fish counter adjacent to his father's grocery store and named it Legal Seafoods. This allowed his father's business to have something other businesses didn't: fresh fish, and later fish and chips, which it sold as takeout. Just like that, the store became unique again. And if you like to learn about the history of your favorite eateries, be sure to subscribe for more content like this. George started his business in 1950 to help his dad's brand be unique. But the fish business grew, and by 1968 it became a restaurant. Apart from its offering of fresh fish and fish and chips, the company also began to sell fried shrimp, clams, and scallops. Fortunately, the creation of Legal Seafoods coincided with a booming post-war U.S. economy, and the health benefits of eating fresh fish became the new cool thing to do for Americans during that period. The business expanded in 1975 and favored a more traditional store, which allowed people to eat in, and it moved its restaurant to the site of the defunct grocery company, S.S. Pierce Company. This expansion allowed the restaurant to increase its offers and grow with the times. In fact, the family planned to open another Legal Seafoods restaurant at the Park Plaza Hotel in Boston. But wherever good news goes, bad news is only half a step away. The company walked that half a step. On the day the company was supposed to celebrate the opening of its new branch, a mysterious fire razed down the original Inman Square restaurant in 1980. Everything was lost. The gloom and doom hovered over the founder of the company. Will this be the end? The loss was a huge blow, and it destroyed the company's progress. However, the founder and his family had one defining trait: they could endure, and they were tenacious. Okay, two defining traits. These losses weren't enough to shake the Berkowitz's determination. Instead, it made them stronger. That same year of the fire, the owners relocated to their current flagship location, Boston Park Plaza, and things started looking bright again. The next year, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts chose the company's fish chowder to represent them at the first inauguration of Ronald Reagan, and that chowder has been served in subsequent inaugurations too. In 1981, the restaurant built its first quality control center for fish processing and distribution. 6 years after the fire in 1986, NBC Today's show named it Best Restaurant in America. Fires could hurt the business's building, but not its spirit. The fire incident was a forge that made them stronger, but there was a limit to how strong someone could be. And George, the patriarch of Legal Seafoods, had reached his limit. It was time for Roger Berkowitz. The 90s came with immense brand recognition for the Legal Seafoods chain. the company entered into a partnership with the United States Department of Commerce to develop a Hazard Analysis and Critical Control Program, HACCP, in 1990. However, if the company was to capitalize on these recognitions, it had to do it fast. The internet, SMS, smartphones, and search engines have changed the advertising and marketing sphere. The business needed to adapt fast and move with the technologies or go under. So Roger Berkowitz, the grandson of Harry and son of George, had his work cut out for him. Would he be up to the task? Well, see for yourself. Roger started working at his family's business when he was 10, so he not only understood how the business worked, he understood how it should work in the digital world. Like blood, the endurance and tenacity that ran in his family flowed in his veins, and he also had flair. He understood the power of personal branding, and this understanding made him turn himself into the company spokesman for almost every radio and video ads campaign. The company experienced unprecedented growth, but with growth comes responsibilities. Roger Berkowitz worked to expand the scope of legal seafood services and target a wider audience. He knew travelers were more likely to try new foods, so he targeted airport restaurants. In 1994, the company established 2 airport restaurants. The first was at Logan International Airport's Terminal C, and the second restaurant at Philadelphia International Airport. That same year, 1994, the company broadened its horizon to include Asian audiences, so it created the Cuisine East program. To establish this program, it invited expert cooks from China to infuse traditional Asian seafood into its menu. These expansions came with numerous benefits and recognitions. For example, Bon Appetit, one of America's oldest food magazines, named the brand in its list of tried and true restaurants in 1998. The American Institute for Food and Wines also helped sponsor the company's 50th anniversary in 2000. It pays to be famous, they say. That said, these recognitions and expansions come with huge responsibilities. The legal brand serves millions of customers and seafood lovers daily, so it began to consider its customers' health. It decided to eliminate trans fat from its list of cooking ingredients. Trans fat is artificial fats that increase the risk of heart disease and some types of cancer. However, businesses use trans fat because of its lower cost and longer shelf life. Despite the financial advantage trans fat provides, Legal Seafoods became a trans fat-free restaurant in 2003, and this proved that the company was a visionary as the FDA banned trans fat in 2020. 17 years later, 2 airports, an Asian cuisine, and some minor expansions weren't enough to quench Roger Berkowitz's quest to expand his family's business. He wanted more, and like his predecessors, under his stewardship, the business built another flagship restaurant, Legal Harborside, in 2012. But even the flagship restaurant wasn't enough to make him feel satisfied. So 2 years later, the company opened another restaurant, Legal Crossing, in the downtown Crossing section of Boston. At that point, Roger knew he needed help. The brand doesn't have it all. No one has it all. And with that in mind, the brand started a mini collaboration spree. In 2019, they started a collaboration with Stonewall Kitchen, a homemade specialty food brand in Maine. This partnership allowed the brand to expand its reach by allowing Stonewall Kitchen to sell its product with the name Legal Seafoods by Stonewall. The next year, 2020, Roger resumed his romance with airport restaurants. But this time, collaboration was central to his strategy. The business partnered with RLJ Companies, an asset management firm, to extend its presence in major airports across America. If Roger thought collaborations were enough to help him achieve his expansion goals in 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic must have given him a reality check. The pandemic came with lots of losses. The company couldn't afford to pay its staff, and although the federal government provided loans through the Paycheck Protection programs, the loan wasn't enough. It was a forgotten history by August 2020. The company had to explore merger options, and in December 2020, it formed a merger with the PPX Hospitality brand. The terms of the agreement allowed the Berkowitz family to control online and retail sales, while the PPX brand gained control over the restaurant network and quality control centers. Surely, Roger didn't only discover that no one has it all, he must have learned it's easy to lose it all. The Berkowitz family went through thick and thin to build their family business. However, the COVID-19 pandemic was the straw that broke the camel's back. The endurance and tenacity that flowed in their veins couldn't endure the silence of the 2020 lockdowns. But there's nothing wrong with that. Every journey has an end. The Berkowitz control of the business met its end. You can call Legal Seafoods a 73-year-old business, or at least a century business. It all depends on your point of view. But regardless of perspective, we can all agree it's a family business that grew from nothing and became the lifeline of a struggling father. And it could have remained a family business if COVID-19 did not happen. Or do you think without COVID, the Berkowitzes would have still sold? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to support our channel.